Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You're now tuned into the one and only B-Rad Show, and I'm your host, the M to the J to the. You already know how it goes. So as you can tell from the title, you guys already know what time it is. We're moving on in the horror versus series, okay? And in a horror versus series, in this segment, we're going to be talking about Chucky versus Slappy. Oh yes, we're going to be talking about Chucky versus Slappy. So for those of you guys that don't know Chucky or Slappy, Chucky comes from the Child's Play series, comes from the Child Play saga, and Slappy comes from the Night of the Living Dummy saga, okay? So I'm pretty sure most of you guys should know who Chucky is, okay? Because they've been continuing on making Chucky movies, even though I feel a certain way about maybe the last couple of Chucky movies that came out. But however, this is the rules how we're going to go when we're talking about the horror verses. So this is the rules. Rule number one. The first person, and the most important rule is the first person or first individual to get 3 mics, not 1, not 2, but 3 mics wins the battle, wins the horror versus battle, okay? So 9 out of 10, I base the whole decision, and I base on giving mics on certain particular contents. And one of them that I base on is originality. So that's one of the number one bases where I base who gets a mic is on originality, okay? Then I also base on the audience, okay? The type of audience, okay? I also based on fear, okay? Who are scary? Where's it a scary fear, okay? Did it get that spook to you? So those are some of the 3 basic things that I base on, and then we drop and decide if we're going to drop a particular individual with a mic, or who gets a mic and who doesn't get some mic, okay? So we're talking about Chucky versus Slappy. Child's Play, okay? The backstory of Child's Play. We know Child's Play Chucky. Charles Lee Ray, a common criminal who transfers his soul into a doll, okay? Into a children's doll, okay? Once again, this is the overall backstory of Chucky. Chucky was actually a grown man. Charles Lee Ray is actually is actually a grown man. Charles Lee Ray, who's a common criminal who transferred his soul into a child doll before dying in a chase between him and a police officer, a detective, I believe, okay? So that was the backstory of Child's Play. Now the backstory of Night of the Living Dummy, the backstory, okay, which is by the author R.L. Stine, okay? For you guys that don't know, okay, a lot of you guys may not know, but a lot of you that grew up in a certain time frame, you are aware of who R.L. Stine is. R.L. Stine is the creator and the author of the Goosebumps books, the famously known Goosebumps saga, okay? All the Goosebumps books, okay? And it had the television series Goosebumps, okay? And it also had a couple of movies Goosebumps, okay? Now Slappy was one of the main reasons of how it's one of the main things when people know of the night of the Goosebumps series, the Night of the Living Dummy series, which is focused on Slappy, okay, a ventriloquist dummy. He is one of the most talked about and most known characters and most known stories and books of the Goosebumps saga and the Goosebumps series of books, okay? Now, as I said, written and produced by R.L. Stine, okay? The Goosebumps series, okay? The Goosebumps books, okay? Slappy hunts and torments children, okay? So this is what it was about. Slappy, he haunted and tormented children, okay? And he tried to take their souls or try to do it, etc., whatever. It was a whole gang of twists, okay? And like I said, he was a ventriloquist dummy. The difference between Chucky and Slappy, Chucky was brought to life by a grown man, Charles Lee Ray, a major criminal, a heavy criminal who transferred his soul into a doll. Now, on the other hand, Slappy was not a man, okay? Slappy was more based on like a spirit or something that was, after you chanted or recited a certain words that that Slappy came to life. And when Slappy came to life, he went on a rampage, okay? He haunted and tormented children, okay? And this is where it went. Now, we're going to go with the first mic. We're going to first burst off. We're going to see who gets the first mic, okay? So we're going to talk about originality. Originality. When we're talking about Chucky versus Slappy, who gets a mic for originality? So when I think of the Chucky, okay, when I think of Chucky, I have to give Chucky a mic, okay, when it comes to originality, because Chucky, the whole backstory of Charles Lee Ray, etc., etc. And then when you look at Chucky, how he went on his killing path, I have to give it a mic for originality because of how it still gave us that serial killer, or that psycho serial killer slasher vibe, even when after Charles Lee Ray transferred himself into the doll, because the doll was basically going on a major rampage, just slashing, killing. It didn't matter whether it was child or adult. He was going on a rampage. So Chucky gets a mic for that. So one mic goes to Chucky for originality. Okay? But now, however, I also have to give a mic to Slappy. One mic goes to Slappy for originality as well. So Slappy and Chucky gets one mic, okay? One mic goes to each one of them, okay? I think that Slappy it was a lot of originality with Slappy as well, because the whole concept of the major magic, the dark magic, and slash voodoo, or should I say voodoo, okay? And I like the whole story where it gave us that it was more the difference between Chucky and Slappy was Chucky was more of a real person, an actual person transferring himself into a doll using voodoo, shall I say again, okay? But in Slappy's case, Slappy gave us that more, that scary, that haunted, or that scary story of more of like the magic, the spirits, the ghosts, that type of scary compared to Chucky, okay? And it was more of you chanted his name and then he came to life. So you look at, certain movies and certain things like Wicca, or you talking about the, what was that, the board, the board where you have it. I can't think of the name right now. Y'all help me out, spam in the comments. But the damn board, the Ouija board, it was more like that. It gave us that spooky magic, that spirit, that ghost. That was the type of vibe of Slappy. But he was a ventriloquist that came to life, and he went on a rampage. So he gets originality for that as well. Slappy had a lot of originality. Now we're gonna go with who on the second base for him. So we're gonna talk about Chucky versus Slappy. Who put fear in people? Who gave fear? Who gave that fear? Who was scary? Which one was more fear and which one was scary? If I had to go with this one, I would have to give a mic to Chucky, okay? I would have to give a mic to Chucky. Chucky was very, very scary and fearful. I don't know for anyone that think that Chucky was a happy-go person or a happy-go. I'm sorry, but Chucky, the way he was and the way he talked, his language, and the violent content of his language, how he just went on a rampage, just that slasher killer rampage, okay, that serial killer, psycho killing. Chucky was very, very scary and very spooky. So, however, Slappy was scary as hell too. I'm sorry to say it, but Slappy was scary and spooky, okay? The difference was it was just a different vibe of spooky and scariness and fear put into people compared to Chucky and Slappy. But Slappy was scary as hell too. I don't know anyone that liked it, Slappy, or thought that Slappy was not scary. Slappy was scary as hell. I'm sorry. And Slappy didn't care. Slappy went on a rampage as well. But you could tell that Slappy was an elder person. Even though he was a ventriloquist, he was still had to be an adult. He wasn't a child, okay? But he went on a rampage too. Slappy was scary, and he was fearing the way he spooked you. It was scary, especially at being a child. You were spooked the hell out of a Slappy, okay? So if we're talking about who gets the mic, is talking about who was most fearing, who was more scary overall. I would have to give a mic to both individuals. So both Slappy and Chucky gets another mic, okay? Once again, I think both Chucky and Slappy were both very scared and very fearful. I think the people feared them, okay? So I think they both get a mic. So right now, we have Chucky right now with 2 mics. We have Slappy with 2 mics, okay? So now we have 1 more mic, okay? So the next person to get 1 more mic wins the versus battle, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys are very interested, okay? So we're talking about Chucky versus Slappy. We're talking about audience. We're talking about audience overall in general, okay? So we're not talking about just a specific time for or a specific age group. We're talking about audience overall. If I had to say, if I'm giving this mic to out of Chucky and Slappy, as far as audience, Who captured more of, which one, Chucky or Slappy, captured more of the people's eye compared to the audience in general? Like children, teenagers, adults, it didn't matter. Elders, it didn't matter. Who gets the mic? Now, first I want to say is that Slappy was more of a, when you talk about the audience, Slappy I think put a lot of fear in children, okay? Even though at some point children get older and become adults, but I think Slappy had that vibe and put that fear in children, to where all children, it didn't matter what your race was, it didn't matter what your color of your skin was, Slappy put that fear in children, okay? So it was good at that. The Goosebumps series in R.L. Stine was good with the Night of Living Dummy. It had, all children were scared of Slappy. All children were. Now, on Chucky's behalf, children were scared of Chucky as well, but however, teenagers and adults were scared of Chucky as well. Chucky put the fear in everyone. It didn't matter whether you were an adult, an elder, a teenager, or a child. Chucky put adult in everyone, because Chucky went after everyone as well. Chucky didn't matter. He'd kill anyone. He didn't just stick to specific audience or specific people. He went after children, went after adults, went after teenagers, elder. It didn't matter. Now, I will say this though. At some point after the first two films, the audience, Chucky started taking on more of the adult audience, okay? Compared to Slappy, he took more on. Slappy took more of the children audience. So I will say that overall, the audience, Chucky got the adult, the teenagers, the young adults and adults and the elders. Chucky got that type of audience, okay? And Slappy, to me, got the children audience, okay? He got the majority of the children audience. Now, the reason why I would say this one is very important in particular, and this is going to be very tricky how I decide to give a mic right here, is because Chucky in the first two movies, the movies were based on a battle between Chucky and Andy, which Andy was still a kid in both movies. But after Child's Play 1 and 2, all the other films, Child's Play 3 and on up, it was now a battle between Chucky and adults, okay? So I would have to say, if I had to decide who gets this mic, because it's a very tricky one, I would have to say, who gets the mic of the audience? I would have to give the mic to Chucky. Yes, I would have to give the mic to Chucky. Chucky would have to get the third mic. So if we're talking about who wins this battle, Chucky wins this horror versus battle 3 mics to 2 mics. Chucky gets 3 mics and it's the unanimous winner, and Slappy gets 2 mics, okay? I want to know what you guys think. Give me your personal opinion. Do you think that the voting was right? Do you think it was correct, or do you think it was wrong? Okay. Do you think that Slappy won this versus battle, or do you think that Chucky actually should have won this versus battle, or do you think that Slappy should have won this versus battle? Okay. And like I said, I think that both of these characters were very, very, they were very huge. They were very huge and very dominant. And excuse me, they both were very good. But overall, I had to give the third mic to Chucky. I would have gave the both mic to both of them, the third mic to both of them, and this would have been a draw decision. This would have been a draw, okay? But I gave the third mic to Chucky and not the third mic to Slappy, because of the fact that Chucky had the audience, the teenage audience. He had the adult audience. He also had the elder audience as well, compared to Slappy only captivating, having the children audience, okay? Even though Chucky only had the children audience in the first 2 films, but the fact that he still started off, the Child's Play saga started off between Chucky and young kid Andy. So that built up to the Chucky franchise and established the Chucky franchise. So I had to go and give the mic to Chucky because he had more of the audience compared to Slappy. So I hope you guys like this battle. I want to know, I'm curious to know, do you guys disagree or do you agree with the way this battle went, the overall decision of this battle? Once again, Chucky gets the win. He gets the W. Chucky gets the W and Slappy gets the L with 3 mics compared to 2 mics. So I hope you guys like this segment. I want to thank you guys once again for tuning into the show. Appreciate all you guys' love and support. Be looking out because this is just the beginning. I'm going to be coming out with more and more versus battles also as well. So you guys be staying tuned and looking for that coming soon. I'm not sure, but I think the next horror versus battle that I will be coming out with will be dropping maybe sometime next week. Will be let me see, I might go, I got one for y'all. I will decide to go Pennywise versus Jigsaw. Once again, the next versus battle that will be coming to the channel will be Pennywise versus the Jigsaw. So until next time, y'all already know what it is. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to share this video and click that notification button so you always be up to date when I drop new content. So until next time, y'all already know what it is. It's the M to the J to the you know. Peace and blessings.